Welcome back to another episode of Friday Financial, and today we are joined by Danielle DeFraia, who is a guidance counselor at Miller Middle School in Kingston. Danielle, thanks for hopping on today.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. We're going to talk pretty broadly today, and I'll just throw out the first question and share with us, parents and guardians, what are some of the challenges middle schoolers really face, and how do they evolve from, fifth grade, right, at Miller, fifth or sixth grade to eighth grade? How does that change?
So I was thinking like two different aspects I wanted to talk about was the social emotional part, and also the academic part. Because I think there's two big things that are going on here. So I would think that like one of the biggest challenges is the bullying. With cyberbullying and also like a verbal bullying. I think it's been consistent. I feel like that's one of the biggest challenges about being in middle school through fifth through eighth grade. I also think about when you were saying parents, how they could definitely, how they could assist or they could help as just being with communication. I think making sure they're communicating with the school if something's going on outside of school, but also just being involved, contacting the teachers, staying involved, letting us know like if there's something going on with their student. I think that we need to know, because if we don't know, we can't help. And then with the academics, I think with transitioning from fifth through eighth is huge. Fifth and sixth grade is more elementary, where they're very close. They're close knit. They have pretty much two core teachers. And then once they get to seventh grade, they're a little bit more on their own. So they need to learn more organizational skills. I think more confidence in themselves to ask for help when they need to with their teachers, because a lot of them won't say anything, and then their teacher's like, I can't help you if you don't say what you need to help. A lot of personalities, I get that, but the sixth into seventh grade transition, I think it's the biggest transition we have here. They're actually coming downstairs and then they're seeing all these adults for all their different classes. So I think also I thought about monitoring phones. That's something parents, I think, need to do more of, because I don't think they necessarily know exactly what their kids are doing on their phones. And to see some of the stuff when it's brought here at school, it's like, whoa, like, you know what I mean? Like, do your parents even know what access that they have to with the technology? So I think those were some challenges and some suggestions that I think from to parents that I would give working as a school counselor.
No, it's interesting you mentioned having confidence to kind of speak up for yourself and ask for help. Is there anything that parents and guardians can do at home to help build that confidence?
I would just maybe say encourage them to speak up. Especially as they're getting a little bit older. Maybe if a kid comes home and says, I need help with this kind of homework, or I need help with this, I would encourage parents to say, well, did you ask your teacher? Because I think the more encouragement that they get, then they'll probably be like, no. But just to kind of be like, well, you can do it. I mean, you can ask. I also think that some kids are afraid to say something to their teacher when class is going, and they're in the middle of the class. So I feel like asking your teacher, hey, do you have like a couple minutes after class that I can speak to you in private? I always encourage my students to say 10th period. I feel like 10th period is a good time for them to get that one-on-one attention. There might be a few other kids in the classroom, but it's definitely less crowded and chaotic than the daily classes.
It's funny you mention that, because as you know, my son attends Miller, and that's a conversation we have all the time. Well, I didn't have time during class, or we were doing stuff, but to make the step, you're old enough now, you can take that step. You can stay after for help. You can set up Teams your teacher, right? A lot of the schools have some type of digital communication now.
That they can communicate with. Exactly. I feel the same way. I feel like as the eighth graders, seeing them, because having them for 4 years, seeing them
Yeah.
now, I think they're starting to. I feel like they're starting to advocate for themselves. They're starting to say what they need help with, what they're going to have to do. Which makes me proud because they're off to the high school next year.
Yeah. Right.
Land of their own.
I know. I know. One last question for you, and I know we didn't really talk about this beforehand, but it just kind of popped in my head. For parents who are preparing to send their first child or their only child to middle school, what kind of advice or what can you say to those parents and guardians to help them prepare for that change and also to help the kids prepare?
I would say, a lot of we have support here. We have a good team. And I know in general in most middle schools, and I know the middle schools in Kingston have a great support team. And I know that parents don't often, they feel like they're bothering them, or they have a lot of students, which is true, but we are here to help. That's our job, and we want to help support them the best that we can, and even the parents too. So communication, I guess, is key, and communicate your fears, communicate what's going on, because if we don't know, we can't help. So I guess the big thing is communication.
Yeah, and I can vouch for that with my many emails to you throughout the years. So thank you for that. Any parting thoughts before we sign off for today?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah. I think, the general theme is really communicate and model communication, I guess, for your kiddos so they can see you. Because we don't know everything either, right? Parenting, we don't know everything.
Exactly.
So we need to ask for help too. So, all right. Thank you so much for hopping on today. I really appreciate it and sharing your experience and your knowledge.
Thank you for having me.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.